Picture this. You're sitting in a meeting, absent-mindedly clicking your pen while everyone else focuses intently on the presentation. Your colleagues might find it annoying, but what they don't realize is that your fidgeting could actually be a sign of superior intelligence. In fact, there are dozens of seemingly odd behaviors that research suggests indicate you might be operating on a completely different cognitive level than most people around you. Today, we're diving into 15 bizarre quirks that scientists have linked to exceptional intelligence. Some of these will shock you. Others might make you feel vindicated about habits people have criticized you for your entire life. But here's the thing. If you recognize yourself in even half of these behaviors, you might just be part of that rare group of individuals whose brains work in ways that only 1% of the population can truly understand. But first, subscribe to our channel. Let me be clear about something. Intelligence isn't just about getting perfect test scores or having an extensive vocabulary. Modern neuroscience has revealed that truly exceptional minds often display patterns of behavior that seem counterintuitive or even problematic to outside observers. The research we'll explore today comes from cognitive psychology, neuroscience studies, and behavioral analysis that's been conducted over decades. So grab a cup of coffee, settle in, and prepare to discover whether your weirdest habits might actually be your greatest strengths. The first quirk that separates the intellectually gifted from everyone else is something that drives teachers and parents absolutely crazy: daydreaming constantly. You know that person who seems to be staring off into space during important conversations? The one whose mind appears to wander during crucial meetings or lectures? Well, research from cognitive neuroscience suggests that frequent daydreaming is actually associated with higher levels of creativity and problem-solving ability. When your brain enters a daydreaming state, it activates what scientists call the default mode network. This neural network is responsible for connecting disparate pieces of information, generating novel ideas, and processing complex problems in the background. People with higher intelligence often have more active default mode networks, which means they're constantly making connections and generating insights even when they appear to be mentally absent. The second weird quirk is being naturally messy or disorganized. Before you start using this as an excuse to avoid cleaning your room, let me explain the science behind this one. Studies have found that people who work in cluttered environments often demonstrate enhanced creativity and are more likely to try new approaches to problems. The theory is that a messy environment reflects a mind that's comfortable with ambiguity and complexity. Highly intelligent individuals often have so many thoughts and projects running simultaneously that traditional organization systems feel restrictive. Their apparent chaos actually represents a different kind of order, one that makes sense to their particular cognitive style but appears random to outside observers. Moving on to quirk number 3. Staying up extremely late on a regular basis. Night owls have been the subject of numerous intelligence studies, and the results consistently show that people who naturally prefer evening hours tend to score higher on measures of cognitive ability. This preference for late-night activity might stem from evolutionary factors, as our ancestors who could function effectively during nighttime hours had certain survival advantages. Modern research suggests that night owls often display greater cognitive flexibility and are better at finding unconventional solutions to problems. Their brains seem to be wired differently, with peak performance hours that don't align with traditional societal schedules. The fourth quirk is talking to yourself out loud regularly. If you've ever caught yourself having full conversations with yourself while working through problems, you're in good company with many highly intelligent individuals. This behavior, which psychologists call private speech, actually serves important cognitive functions. When you verbalize your thoughts, you're essentially using language as a tool to organize and refine your thinking. Research shows that people who engage in self-talk often perform better on complex tasks and are more effective at regulating their emotions and behavior. It's like having an external thinking partner who happens to be yourself. Quirk number 5 might surprise you: being incredibly curious about seemingly random topics. Highly intelligent people often display what researchers call epistemic curiosity, an intense desire to learn about subjects that have no immediate practical application. You might find yourself diving deep into the history of ancient civilizations one week and studying quantum physics the next. This intellectual wandering isn't actually random at all. Exceptional minds naturally seek to build comprehensive mental models of how the world works. Each seemingly unrelated piece of information becomes part of a vast interconnected web of knowledge that can be drawn upon for creative problem solving. The sixth weird quirk is experiencing intense emotions about abstract concepts or future scenarios. People with high intelligence often report feeling genuine distress about hypothetical situations or becoming passionate about theoretical principles. This emotional investment in abstract thinking demonstrates the deep level at which these individuals process information. Their brains don't just understand concepts intellectually, they feel them. This emotional engagement with ideas actually enhances memory formation and creative thinking, making these individuals more effective at tackling complex problems that require both logical reasoning and intuitive insight. Number 7 is particularly interesting, having an unusual relationship with routine. While some highly intelligent people are extremely organized and methodical, others actively resist routine and structure. The latter group often finds that rigid schedules stifle their cognitive processes and prevent them from following their natural thinking patterns. These individuals work best when they can adapt their schedule to match their mental energy cycles and pursue ideas when inspiration strikes. What might look like procrastination or poor time management is actually a sophisticated understanding of their own cognitive rhythms. Quirk 8 involves being unusually sensitive to sensory input. Many highly intelligent individuals report being overwhelmed by loud noises, bright lights, or crowded environments. This heightened sensitivity isn't a weakness, it's actually a sign of a nervous system that processes information more thoroughly and efficiently. This sensitivity allows these individuals to notice subtle patterns and details that others miss. However, it also means they need to carefully manage their environment to maintain optimal cognitive performance. The ninth quirk is questioning everything, even seemingly obvious facts or widely accepted beliefs. Highly intelligent people often display what researchers call intellectual humility. They understand that knowledge is provisional, and that even well-established ideas might be incomplete or incorrect. This constant questioning drives them to dig deeper into topics and consider alternative perspectives. While it can make them seem argumentative or difficult, this intellectual skepticism is actually one of their greatest cognitive strengths. Number 10 is experiencing what psychologists call imposter syndrome on a regular basis. Paradoxically, people with exceptional intelligence often doubt their own abilities and worry that they're not as smart as others believe them to be. This happens because they're acutely aware of how much they don't know and can easily recognize the limitations of their own understanding. Less intelligent individuals often suffer from the Dunning-Kruger effect, where they overestimate their abilities because they lack the knowledge to recognize their own incompetence. Highly intelligent people have the opposite problem. They know enough to understand the vast scope of what they don't know. Quirk 11 involves being easily bored by routine tasks or conversations. This isn't simply a matter of being lazy or antisocial. Highly intelligent brains require more complex stimulation to remain engaged. Simple, repetitive activities don't provide enough cognitive challenge to keep their minds occupied. This need for mental stimulation drives them to seek out complex problems and novel experiences. While it can make them seem restless or dissatisfied, it's actually an indication that their brains are operating at a higher level than most. The 12th weird quirk is having an unusual sense of humor, particularly an appreciation for complex wordplay, irony, or abstract comedy. Intelligence and humor are closely linked because both require the ability to recognize patterns, make unexpected connections, and process information on multiple levels simultaneously. Highly intelligent individuals often create and appreciate jokes that operate on several levels of meaning at once. They enjoy humor that requires background knowledge or sophisticated thinking to understand fully. Number 13 involves being a perfectionist to an almost paralyzing degree. While perfectionism can be problematic, it often stems from the ability to envision ideal solutions and recognize subtle flaws that others miss. Highly intelligent people can see so many ways that something could be improved that they struggle to accept anything less than excellence. This perfectionism drives them to produce exceptional work, but it can also prevent them from completing projects or taking risks. Understanding this tendency can help them find ways to channel their perfectionist impulses productively. Quirk 14 is experiencing intense empathy combined with difficulty relating to others socially. Many highly intelligent individuals can understand and feel others' emotions deeply, but struggle with small talk or casual social interactions. This happens because their minds are constantly analyzing and processing social cues at a level that can be overwhelming. They might understand exactly what someone is feeling and why, but find it difficult to engage in the kind of surface-level conversation that forms the basis of most social interaction. Finally, Quirk 15 is the tendency to procrastinate on important tasks while becoming hyper-focused on less critical projects. This pattern often frustrates teachers, employers, and family members, but it actually reflects a sophisticated understanding of motivation and cognitive engagement. Highly intelligent individuals often need to feel genuinely interested in a task before they can bring their full cognitive abilities to bear on it. What looks like poor prioritization might actually be their brain's way of ensuring they can perform at their peak level when they finally engage with important work. Understanding these quirks isn't about making excuses for problematic behaviors or convincing yourself you're smarter than you are. Instead, it's about recognizing that exceptional intelligence often manifests in ways that don't align with conventional expectations. If you recognized yourself in many of these descriptions, it might explain why you've sometimes felt out of step with others or criticized for behaviors that feel natural to you. The key is learning to work with your cognitive style rather than against it. Remember that intelligence comes in many forms, and these quirks represent just one perspective on how exceptional minds operate. Whether you identified with 3 of these traits or 13, the most important thing is understanding your own cognitive patterns and finding ways to leverage your unique strengths. What matters isn't whether you fit into any particular category of intelligence, but whether you're using your mental abilities in ways that bring you satisfaction and allow you to contribute meaningfully to the world around you. After all, the goal isn't to prove you're smarter than everyone else. It's to understand yourself well enough to live and work in ways that feel authentic and fulfilling. If you got value from this video, like it and subscribe to our channel.